Welcome to the fourth session of Microsoft Excel. We have started with the introduction to Microsoft Excel and then tried to also understand why do we need to learn Microsoft Excel. Now what we will be learning is about the few things that when you open a workbook that you see, which is rows, columns, cells, and cell ranges. Also, we will be checking about worksheets and what are worksheets. So let's begin our session for today. So we will start with the rows, columns, and followed by cells and ranges. And then we will look over the worksheets. So what is rows? Rows are the which runs horizontally across the worksheet, and they can be identified by their numbers. They are labeled by their numbers. So when I was opening a workbook, I showed you what are rows and columns. Rows are the one which the rows bar, you will see it on the left hand side of your screen, and you will see that it's already numbered and it runs horizontally across the worksheet. And what are columns? Columns are the one which runs vertically across the worksheet, and it can be labeled and it is mainly labeled by letters. Now, the version of Microsoft Excel I'm using is 2021. If you are using a previous version, you will find it with letters. Whereas in my Microsoft Excel version, it is labeled with numbers. So be it numbered or letters, all the columns are the ones which are running vertically and the rows are the one which are running horizontally. Now what are cells? Cells are what rows and columns create. So each row, each column create cells, and all these cells can be identified by their row number and column header. Yeah, so each and every cell is created by the row and the column, and this is where you will be inserting your data, be it numbers, be it characters, be it letters. You will be inserting it in the columns itself. And what happens is, how to recognize that cell? To recognize that cell, you have to identify it by their row number and their column header. And what is this ranges? A group of cells when selected together is known as cell ranges. Cell ranges can be identified referring to the first and the last cell, which is separated by column. Now, when we go to the workbook, I will show you what are the cell ranges that happen. But let's say you select over 4 columns, about 5 to 10 rows, right? This whole, the first one with the last one, which is separated by a colon, is your cell range. So let's understand what is a cell range, what are cells, columns, and rows. So we will go back to Microsoft Excel. Now here, as you see, these are the rows, right? You see this icon going and you see the green blink. Yes, these are your rows. These are your columns. So the rows were always numbered. With the columns you see now, right now it has got numbered. In the previous versions, they are all with they are all in alphabetical order. Now, this is what is a cell. So this is a cell. Yeah, a row number and a column header, and this is a cell. Now, how to know which cell you are on? What you can do is select this cell, and you see here in the home ribbon menu, just below the home ribbon menu, where you get to know what is the cell number. So you see it's written row 5, column 5, R for row, C for column, row 5, column 5. In this small bar, small taskbar, you will be able to see the row number. Yes, the row and the column number. So the cell can be identified from here. It can be any cell that you want to click on and insert your data in. You can identify it from here. Now, what you also can do is, how do you see a cell range? Now you see 8 rows into 5 columns, 12 rows into 7 columns, 19 rows into, so 20 rows. You see the cell range is happening from here itself, right? So let's say if I'm selecting from here and you're going, you can see the numbers here itself. Which cell, which column you are on. And you can define the cell number. Now you can also write cell number. For example, I want to select, so let's say this is, I'll put here 2, validate here 5, and I can do equals to, plus I can do here just, let's say, so I can select this and put it here as well. And with the colon, I can separate the two. Or you can do this, for example. Yeah. This. You see, the column and the row is selected together. Now, how do you do this is, for example, let's say I've not inserted any formula, so which I'm going to do later. You select this, so you go here into a cell, right? So I'm here, put an equal to sign, or you can just do press shift, yeah, and click on this cell. So you can write equals to this cell. So I have clicked, so my shift is pressed on and I've clicked on to this cell, and then you can do a colon and also insert this. And that's how you do it. So you can select cells in that way also. And this is your cell ranges that are happening. Yeah. So this is cell range. Now let us understand what is a worksheet. Worksheet is also known as spreadsheet. It is a page containing a cluster of cells. Users can insert, store, update, and analyze data in worksheet. A worksheet is made up of rows, columns, and cells. So what happens is this, as you see here, this is the worksheet. So let's go to the workbook and tell you what is worksheet all about. We'll go back and we will click onto here. So this is your spreadsheet or worksheet, right? And what happens here is this is comprised of rows, columns, cells, right? And you can insert data here, for example, 2, 4, A, B, C, D. You can do additions here. You can input data, sort data, filter data. You can do everything here itself. So your spreadsheet is where you are going to be inputting the data and working on it. And what happens is you can also have multiple spreadsheets at the same time. For example, I'll just show it to you because this is something that we have already done. So we'll revise it. So this is a spreadsheet. Yes. If you click here, you can say, let's say version 1.0, right? So you can rename it as well. How to rename it? You click here and you do a right click and you can rename it. Now, spreadsheet. So if you are thinking workbook will have one spreadsheet, then you are wrong. Each workbook can have multiple spreadsheets. So for example, you see this plus sign, you click on this, you can rename it version 2.0, and you can keep on creating your spreadsheets or worksheets in one workbook itself and have one common heading. So let's say you say sales invoice for from the month of January 2022 till December 2022. So you can do here January 2022, February 2022, and you can keep on adding your worksheets here and putting up those calculations. So all your calculations which is related to, let's say, one product or one project, details about one project, can be in one workbook itself. You do not need multiple workbooks unless and until you are working in a completely different thing altogether, which will require separate information. But information which can stay in separate worksheets but in one workbook should be added together itself. You can add all your data in all of them, work on them at the same time if you want to. And once you save, let's say you save this one, you want to save this document, you will end up saving all the other worksheets as well along with it, which is there, which is part of that workbook. So always, so here you can also save the file size in that way. You do not need multiple files, multiple workbooks for, let's say, balance sheet of January 2021, balance sheet of February 2021. No, you can have one balance sheet starting from January to December and create different spreadsheets for the same. Yes, so this is how the whole spreadsheet thing works. So now that you know about spreadsheets and about sale, cells, ranges, rows, and columns, the next thing that we will be learning are about the different ribbon menus. Please make sure to learn more about Microsoft Excel. Go and visit support.microsoft.com. Also, if you want to learn more about Microsoft Excel, do finish a course in Microsoft Learn on Microsoft Excel and earn few more extra credits. Thank you.